question.
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Those are like the two most quoted people on the internet. All right, welcome to our couch. Today we're taking a white privilege test. It's really a checklist. We're just going to see if white privilege is exclusive to white people and to see who has more white privilege, me or Lex. Okay, at the top of this checklist it says, Peggy McIntosh, Associate Director of Wesley College Center for Research on Women, describes white privilege as an invisible package of unearned assets which I can count on cashing in each day, but about which I was meant to remain oblivious. White privilege is like an invisible, weightless knapsack of special provisions, maps, passports, codes, books, visas, clothes, tools, and blank checks.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, nothing about that was actually about white people.
Right.
It's basically just saying it's invisible benefits that you have.
It's like a knapsack of goodies. It's like you're on this journey, right? And you just happen to have an extra bag of goods. It's like being stranded on an island, but you actually have some tools.
But only white people have the tools.
But only white people have the tools.
And they're invisible tools.
And they're invisible. And you're not supposed to know that you have invisible tools. You just have these tools that you use every day.
Okay.
That you're not supposed to know that you use every day.
Okay.
All right.
All right, number 1. I can arrange to be in the company of people of my race most of the time.
Wait, is that a joke?
That's the number 1 on the checklist.
Wait, what is that? What?
And the number 1 question
Okay,
is basically, if you wanted to, can you arrange to be around people only of your race?
Yes. I would say probably any,
right?
Like any type of Asian can, Latino, black, white, it doesn't matter.
Like in a lot of big cities, there's neighborhoods. Like, okay, in Miami, you have Little Haiti.
You have Chinatown.
You have Little Cuba.
Right.
What else? In LA, there's, oh my goodness.
Right.
There's some Little Italy, all these little, you know what I mean? Like so many people. Yeah, Koreatown, so many people can do that. And like you said, Chinatown.
Okay, so I get a point for that, I guess.
Same. I get a point.
Okay, I can go shopping alone most of the time, pretty well assured that I will not be followed or harassed. I get a point for that.
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're a black man. They follow you in stores. What do you mean?
I get followed in stores like once in a blue moon.
True.
And I don't really think it's because of race. It's always the same kind of stores, like those little small shops. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it'll be a beach shop. It's like once every blue moon.
True, same.
Like those...
And a lot of times it'll be like small business owner who clearly cares about losing stuff because it's a really small business. They probably make $5,000 a month off this business.
Well, but oftentimes when I get followed, it's like it follows up with a question like, hey, can I help you find anything?
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But technically they are kind of like riding my coattail.
That's true.
But I mean,
but often it's
not
like,
often.
it is when they follow you. If you're not there for anything negative, then like they often are trying to help you.
Yeah, they often start talking to you and becomes a conversation.
That's true.
So
okay.
No, I couldn't tell you last time I was followed in a store, but I know it has happened before.
So we're tied so far.
Yeah. Okay, number 3. I can turn on the television or open the front page of the paper and see people of my race widely represented. Can you?
Yeah. Modern day? Are you kidding?
Yeah, just turn on CNN. You see Don Lemon and Van
Black
Jones.
Lives Matter.
And all these people.
Some kind of, Yeah, I mean, modern day, that's kind of...
Yeah, that's kind of silly.
All right, 3 points each. When I am told about our national heritage or about civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is. Okay. Finally, not a point.
Oh, I get a point for that.
People of my color made it what it is.
Yeah. Do you know how many times I've been told, our ancestors built this. This country was built on genocide and slavery. You know what I mean?
Right, but it says when I'm told, well, I guess when I'm told.
Do you know how many times I've been told that?
Okay.
Like, it's not even funny.
That's true. That's true. But then it says I am shown that people of my color. I mean, I don't know. That's just a really weird worded question.
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, those are like the two most quoted people on the internet. It's
right.
like I know so many quotes from these people and without even having read their work. You know what I mean?
See, like when I read that, I'm thinking colonization and the Pilgrims and, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking being told.
Yeah, they say America was built
heritage.
on the back of slavery and genocide.
True, that is people of my color.
Right. I mean, this whole thing is silly, but...
It is silly. Because that's just worded weird. That's worded kind of trickily. Because it's like, I'm told about our heritage. I'm shown people of my color. It's like, if someone's telling you, they're usually not showing
And then it's
you.
like Black History Month. Every month in school, you learn about, like, inventors and all this kind of stuff.
Right. The weird thing is, I feel like a lot of this type of stuff is super white and black, but they forget about all the other people of all these other nationalities who
It's
actually
ridiculous.
don't have much representation, while white and black get the most representation.
Yeah, but the whole idea of representation is just weird to me.
Why?
It's like representation should be based on merits, not percentages of demographics.
Yeah, that's freaking weird.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can be sure that my children will be given curricular materials that testify to the existence of their race. Okay, that sounds really racist, actually.
What? Testify to the existence of their race?
To me, that almost
what does that even mean?
That almost sounds like they should be given some kind of benefit. Like, okay, if this race scores better or worse on tests, they should be graded harder or less hard on tests.
No, maybe it's about like
Like,
history or social studies or something.
But what does that have to do with like, say, math? Like, what is it supposed to be like? Oh, black people that had an influence in math, they learn about. Like, I don't get it. I don't get that.
Yeah, that's an odd question. I'm just gonna skip that one. Does that testify to the existence of their? I don't get why you need someone to testify to the existence of their race, even though that's kind of silly because, I mean, what is race anyway? You know what I mean? So maybe they mean like just reinforces the narrative of race. You get what I'm saying?
This sounds super racist.
This is weird.
Super race conscious.
This is a weird checklist.
Like the whole idea of not being racist is not seeing color, but this is all about color.
Right.
Like the irony. I mean, can you imagine like being a white person looking at this list and like, especially as a kid, and you're like learning in school, like, you know, oh, other people don't have these things that I have, and everyone else has exactly the same. But you're learning because you're white, you have these things, and you're thinking, I have this invisible knapsack that I don't realize that I have, da-da-da-da. And it's like, literally everyone has it. Like, so far, it seems like literally they worded stuff weird, but everyone has it.
Yeah, this checklist is pretty dumb.
Like, if you live in a first world country, then, like, I can go to a music shop and count on finding music of my race represented in a supermarket. I find the food I grew up with in a hairdresser shop. I find someone who can deal with my hair. That's so dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
because all three of those things are
I've
different.
had no problem getting haircuts in America.
Yeah. You know,
and then
actually,
like music from black people is everywhere. I mean, from music stores to the Billboard charts to the Grammys, like
right, exactly.
Not really that hard to find. So
exactly.
I guess I have the white privilege there.
Supermarket food. I grew up with Hamburger Helper. Sure.
I mean, collard greens and cornbread.
Right.
It's at every store.
Now,
you can go to a Latino grocery store and get collard greens and cornbread.
Yeah. I will say, the hairdresser shop, I actually can go into a white hairdresser shop and I'm more likely to find someone that can deal with my hair than a black hairdresser shop. Because historically, I've had more negative experiences with black people doing my hair than I have with white people doing my hair.
White privilege.
But they both will mess it up. Most of the time.
Yeah, you just have an odd texture. There's not a lot of people who know how to work with your texture.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that is something that is white privilege. Oh
yeah, I can get a haircut anywhere. Like, not literally any shop, but there's so many. It's like, it's not hard to find a barbershop.
And then, like, a lot of people, like, you used to go to one in, like, in, like, Broward, Florida, Broward County, where the dude was...
He was a Cuban.
Yeah, he was Cuban, and he could cut your hair.
Yep. He did a good job, too. Okay, number 7. Whether I use checks, credit cards, or cash, I can count on my skin color not to work against the appearance of financial responsibility.
Okay, wait, I need to think about this.
So this is just, I don't know, these are just really opinionated. This is not like factual stuff. So they're saying if you use a check, a credit card, or cash, that basically if you're not white, people are going to assume you're not financially responsible. Like the check might bounce or something. How would I know that?
Right.
If I wrote a check, not that people my age even write checks, but if I wrote a check, the person's not going to say, oh, is this going to bounce? You know what I mean? Like, how would you even know the answer to this question?
Okay, this is the thing, though. If you look like straight hood dude that had, you know what I mean? If you were just, like, not together, you know, maybe you had some dirty brown stains on your white tee type thing. You know what I'm saying? If you were just, like, looking a hot mess, then I feel like it doesn't matter what skin tone you have. Everybody's going to kind of judge you. You know what I mean? If you're looking like you just got out the pen and like, you know what I'm saying? You talk with something.
And when you say hood, you're talking about of any ethnicity.
Yeah, any hood, ethnicity. Person.
Right.
Like basically, I think that's more of a class thing.
Right.
Because I think if you pull out a wad of cash and you look a certain class, people might assume you're a drug dealer versus you're, you know, a banker or something.
I mean, I think I would check that one off. Like, I've never felt judged for using a credit card or cash or, you know what I mean? Have you?
That's just a weird question.
All these questions are weird.
Because it's just like, I mean, I could see a situation where people would judge it, but I think it'd be more in class. Like, if you see somebody with a huge wad of cash and they don't.
Right, but I'm saying, have you felt that way?
No, that's weird. No. Even if I use a card that doesn't work because I need to change the PIN number or something, I don't feel like they're looking at me like, damn, this black person can't keep money in the account.
And a lot of these questions are like that. They're not really factual. It's based on how you feel.
And honestly, the way this is written, to me, it's almost like the perception of how someone else feels.
Right.
Like, it's actually super racist.
So it's like how you feel about how you think someone else feels.
Yeah.
This is pretty odd. Pretty odd.
I am not made acutely aware that my shape, bearing, or body odor will be taken as a reflection of my race.
What? Are you kidding me? How do you feel about that one? Are they talking about like your shape of your body?
Probably. That's just, I don't understand. That's just.
Are they trying to say everyone who's not white stinks? Is that what they're trying to say?
Overweight. They're trying to say everybody got diabetes and high blood pressure. Because this is pretty racist.
My goodness.
No, honestly though,
crazy.
I don't feel that. I feel like, okay, obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure, sure, they run in my family, but I mean, I think it's a lot more dietary than it is like, just because I'm black, I'm going to be the same way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, that's actually, like, I feel like these are actually so, like, strangely, like, judgmental statements. Because, like, I don't feel like, oh, I'm just going to be just like that because of my race. No. Like, I don't feel limited to, like...
We got to answer the question. Are you made acutely aware that because of your shape, bearing, or body odor, it will be taken as a reflection on your race?
No.
Right? These questions are the same, and our white privilege is off the charts. All right, number 9. I can worry about racism without being seen as self-interested or self-seeking.
Oh! Dang, somebody has a chip on their shoulder.
Oh my goodness. So
Miss McIntosh.
This is another odd question.
This is wild because given this whole list right here, like, you're super worried. Like, this is not just like self-interest and like, it's not just like normal thoughts. Now, it's like she feels self-conscious about it. So that's why she thinks people think she's self-interested and self-seeking.
Right. So I can worry about racism without being seen as self-interested or self-seeking. So this is supposed to be a white thing?
Yes.
Like, white people can have an opinion on racism. People won't accuse them of being, like, selfish. Like, doing it for personal gain.
That's the thing, though. It depends what side of the argument
so, like, this is misleading.
Because, yeah, if you're a white male that loves America, then people are going to be very, like, thinking that way. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I feel the same way. Like, at least I don't think it this way, but I think a lot of black people feel like if they care about whatever injustice and all that, they're going to be judged the same. You know what I'm saying? Just the same as a white man that cares about America. So it's like, that's not, it just depends where you're coming from with that one.
I feel like this checklist is really just more of a mirror, like a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you don't check off a lot, it might be you just have low self-esteem or something like that. Or either you view the world as hating you and very racist. Because the way these things are worded, you could answer anyway. Like, I can worry about racism. What kind of racism are you worrying about? You know what I mean? Are you saying racism is not as big of a problem as it used to be? Or are you saying racism is a huge problem we need to tackle? You can worry about it in many different ways. And so it's really just a reflection of your own consciousness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Number 10, I can take a job or enroll in a college with an affirmative action policy without having my coworkers or peers assume I got it because of my race.
Now, how weird is that?
Because how do you know what they're thinking? But right. I get this question a little more. It's like, it's not, I don't know what, my coworkers or peers would be thinking, but I personally would think, dang, did I get in because of my race or did I get in because of my merit?
But isn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Isn't that so ironic though? It's white privilege to not have affirmative action policies and people making assumptions about you. It's like so odd because it's like, well, what's the alternative?
And who made the policies?
Right. It's just like, this is like weird because it's like a lot of times, okay, people might feel, oh, this way about my race, but the fact is they got the job. You know what I'm saying? That's what's one step closer to being wherever you're trying to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the alternative is not get the job and not talk about it. Well, if you don't have that, then you're going to be talking about we need affirmative action policies. So it's literally like you're going to be hearing complaints no matter what.
I mean, this is the craziest question of all. 'Cause they're basically saying it's white privilege to make a policy that will lead black people to wondering if their coworkers think they've got hired because of their merits or because of their race. And then so white people don't have to worry about that issue they just created, so that's white privilege.
Right.
Like,
so,
what?
Right. What does that lead to?
What
does that lead to? White guilt about affirmative action policies hiring people of minority, whatever. So therefore, less people of minorities getting hired. Like,
get rid of the policy then.
Right?
If affirmative action equals white privilege,
that's what I'm saying.
Get rid of it.
This is super racist because it's like basically trying to make people so race conscious that they like reverse things that have been done that made things actually less racist.
Yeah, this is an insane mind twist.
And then it's like to have people walking around thinking all black people feel this way. Like we made it halfway through the list and both of us checked off like everything we could understand on this list.
Yeah, I'm about done with this test. We made it halfway through, but this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
It was just like super. I just feel okay. Honestly, the time that I feel the most black is when I look at stuff that is like so race conscious, and it's like I'm so limited to like what I'm supposed to think and how I'm supposed to feel because we're so race conscious as a culture that like anything that's outlying beyond what we're thinking each race should be doing, we're like, whoa, like it's abnormal. But you know how many different kinds of black people there are? Just like there's many different kinds of white people, Asian people, Latino people.
I mean, this whole thing is so silly to me because when you talk about other races of people, you talk about it by the country they're from. But in America, we don't.
Yeah, that is weird.
They say, oh, yeah, this person's Italian, this person's Nigerian, you know what I mean? But in
Chinese.
America, right. But in America, you're black or white.
Which means actually...
Or Latino or Asian, that's it. But everywhere else around the world, you are like, your race is your country.
You could have a white person that's mixed many different races of white, right? You can have a black person that is 50% Nigerian and, 25% British, 25% Irish or whatever. And that black person might be technically more British than the white person who maybe they know, they're 10% British or something like that. But that's their biggest percentage. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but it is like they're going to get criticized of having more white privilege. Their ancestors did all this, and this. And it's like the black person is more British, though. You know what I mean? And then for all we know, yeah, it could have been a slave master and all this stuff. But it's like nobody had anything to do with any of this. We all just kind of ended up here by way of our ancestors. You know what I mean? So they're talking about you can go to a store and find some food you grew up with. Yes, we all can because we're all Americans. Like, we're not dealing with, I'm not eating Nigerian food every day growing up. Like, this isn't, 1812.
Right. Yeah, I can go to a store and find hot dogs. Had plenty of those growing
corn
up.
Dogs, you know what I'm saying? Corn dogs with a little mustard on the tip. Stuff like this is, like, so annoying because this person has a lot of assumptions and a lot of beliefs. And they probably have been told a lot of things by people. But it's just like a whole echo chamber of racism that they're like thinking is anti-racism.
Yeah, this is insane.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. We to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.